we are we are discussing about Dr. Purpose. So first of all, we have to be understand that approach what we are currently doing. What we are doing, we are creating images. We are creating images, images. With the help of image, we are creating containers. Okay, so containers we are creating manually. Okay, and manually we are creating each one by one. We are creating containers. Okay, with the help of images. Images we will get from the Docker Hub, or we can create the image from the base image or something. Means we can say that customized image we are creating, and that customized up from the Docker Hub image we are creating a container. But the problem is that we are creating a manually. If your project is too small, then manual approach it is okay. Okay. If your project it is too small, manual approach it is okay. But if consider that 100 it is a big project, 10,000, yeah, randomly within 5-10 minutes you have to be create 100 containers. So what happened? It is creating some issue. Means manually it is little bit difficult for you within an hour. You can create 100 containers. So even though you have to be also suppose it is a two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture kind of application. Uh, you have to be deploy into the cluster. Why? Because in project, right? Only not single you have to be installed that. Even if it is a front end and back end, so in front end and back end you need to be provide the connectivity. Okay, if you are not providing connectivity whatever, then what happen, whatever you are hitting right from the front end, you are not getting the proper response. Why? Because it is not connected to the database backend active servers, and it is UI it is not sufficient to provide a proper response. Okay, so dependent kind of container also we are not able to deploy with this manual approach. So what we have to do, we have one solution provided by Docker. It is called Docker Compose. So it is Docker Compose. Docker Compose, what it will do and how it will do. Listen very carefully. It is a new topic. First of all, it is also needed images. Okay, images as we are working currently, right, for the individual container, it will it will similar way we will create an image. So image alternative, I don't have anything. Okay, so whether it will comes from the Docker Hub, whether if we are working to the project, so some private repositories are there from where there we will get that images. Otherwise if we needed some customized images, we will create from the Docker file. So these are that way we can achieve our images. And now what happened here? Front end applications are there, and front ends are okay. Suppose front end we have a multiple, we have to be created. Okay, and each front end, one backend is also there, and we have to be what? We have to be make a connectivity here from front end to back end, front end to back end, and within a one go. So that is kind of solution. It is provided by Docker Storm. Okay, Docker Compose. Sorry, Docker Compose. It is one this kind of way. This kind of solution it is provided by Docker Compose. So what is a Docker Compose? We have to be see and how to implement Docker Compose into our project. So we will see that. Okay, listen, it is very important. Without this, um, in normal scenario, right? In project, we are not creating containers with the help of manual approach. Okay, so here we are using Docker Compose. So you should be understand the Docker Compose. Otherwise, it is a very difficult to work on a Docker approach in any projects. So if you are using a Docker, so you have to know about the Docker Compose. Okay, now so under now a day project are developing based on the microservices. These are that micro services, right? Individually applications front end, they are back end, they are front end, back end individually. So these called microservices. These are the microservices. Independently, you are deploying one container on the one container, one application, one container, one application, one container, one application. These are the these microservices. Our application required multiple containers for the execution, like a front end, back end, database, any kind of this kind of approach, two tier, three tier architecture. So similar way, if it is needed, so we creating a multiple containers manually, it is very difficult and time taken process. So if we are going for that manual approach, it will very difficult and it is time taking first of all. And we will why we are using container and microservices for saving the time. Okay, so it is not a time consume means time means it is a that manual approach. It is a time consuming. So we are looking some other solution, and the solution is Docker Compose. And note, managing multiple multi-container based application is difficult task. Okay, so the Docker Compose is used to managing multiple containers within a means within a one time. Okay, so a Docker Compose, it is a tool which is used to manage multi-container based application. Okay, listen very carefully. Multi-container based application using Docker Compose, we can easily set up and deploy multi-containers. Okay, we will use Docker Compose.yml file to provide the container information to Docker Compose tool. Okay, so what happened? We are creating a one Docker file. Like when we are creating a Docker file, right? With the Docker file, we are able to we are able to create images. Okay, and into the Docker file, we are providing a multiple instruction, and while execution of these instruction, images will create it. Okay, and in similar fashion, we are creating some code, some instruction. We are writing some instruction into the Docker hyphen compose.yml. Okay, with help of this YAML, we will maintain that multi-cluster based application. Okay, so we will use Docker hyphen compose YML file to provide a container information to Docker Compose tool. Docker Compose YML should contain all the information related to the container creation. Make sense? And what is a contain in Docker file? We have learned lots of instructions, right? And here what we have to write, Docker Compose, under the Docker Compose.yaml. These only three things: version, services, network, volume. Network volume means which volume we want to be attached in, into the container. Network, which network we have to be assigned to the network. And services means what kind of containers we want to create it. And version means we it is normal version 1, alpha, beta, somewhere you heard about, right? Here we are writing a v2, v1, v3 kind of. So see, note, Docker Compose default file name is docker hyphen compose.yaml. Okay, like similar in Docker file, what we have writing D capital, otherwise it is not executed, right? If you put it a small letter D. So similar fashion, if you are putting Docker hyphen ym compose yml, then it can execute. So we have to be understand that it is a different kind of tool, Docker Compose. When we are seeing that, while installation of Docker, right, we will not get a Docker Compose separately. We have to be install. Okay, so how to install? We'll see that when we are installing the Docker Compose will not come automatically. We have to be installed again manually. Okay, in that Docker Compose. So we have to be execute this command. Okay, and now what happened? It is the Docker version, it is reflecting, right? Docker version, Docker hyphen compose hyphen version. We are fired this command. We are getting this version, Docker compose version. And if it is a service, so how we can see that with the help of this command, Docker hyphen compose. It is not a service. And RPM, I have executed one command, right? RPM hyphen QA. Yeah. Now what happened? Is not reflecting. Docker star. Let me check that. Only Docker version it is reflecting. So only because only you have to be fire this command because it is reflecting this the version. You want to verify that your Docker compose it is there or not. Okay. So yes. And then after that, what happened? Your Docker compose it is ready and it is deployed. Okay. I mean it is already what it calls. It is installed that. Now what happened? I'm cloning. I'm cloning this repo. Give me a minute. I need to check. Git is, if you want to verify that Git it is installed or not. So what is the approach? So git hyphen version command on. Mm, here, pipe grep get
Git start कर लो भाई.
git git installing. Okay. So what happened? It is a if you want to see that which kind of operating system, so type uname hyphen a. So it is Linux and it is EC2. So what happened? We have to be execute yum command. Yum install git hyphen. Now git hyphen version. So what happened? Git version is available now. Okay. So I want to clone this. I need to be clone. Uh, how to clone it? What is this URL? Uh, Srishal will explain you all guys in detail. So for the time being, you have to see that with this help of command, it is downloading downloading your code from the somewhere else. Okay, some from the online. Uh, Online it is keeping public, and with the help of this git command, git clone, we are downloading this into my system. What happened here? See, cat docker file it is there, and docker file for it is for the creating images. I have to switch from one here, like when we are creating this one, right? So spring boot, this kind of folder we are getting, so we are switching from we are going into this directory. Okay, now what happened? We want to see that we have these many files, and here docker file, it is a separate docker file are there. We want to see that. Yes, and here jdk, because it is a java related code. So what happened? We are taking a jdk, open jdk for 8. Okay, expose port 8080. Add what it will do? It add will download, means copy paste one thing, and second what it can do, if it is a downloaded from the some url, it is also able to do it. But here what happened? We are copy from source to destination. Okay, this jar file. So that's all. And entry point, it is a Java hyphen jar and that jar name. Okay. So it is a simple image it is created which contains JDK, open JDK 8080 port number, and the jar should be available, and jar from where the jar will come, the source code. Okay. And if anybody is aware that how to create a jar, so it is well and good. If nobody is aware that, so it is also well and good to understand that this is the Maven clean package. Okay. So Maven, it is also one of the software. Maven, it is not installed. That's why it is a failing. Let me check that we can install or not. No command from. So I can't say anything.